China has been boycotting American soybeans, and American farmers have really suffered. Do you see a real light at the end of the tunnel there? They may allow soybeans again?
Well, Martha, in case you don't know it, I'm actually a soybean farmer, so I have felt this pain too. And there are a couple of things happening here. One,
so we've got a busy week in trade war land as Trump is still in Asia and supposedly bringing in trillions of dollars in tariffs, making tons and tons of trade deals, and yet people are all still trying to cheat us. Let me guys give you the update. Let's jump right in. This is Fox News talking about China and blackmail. Listen to this.
All right, the Chinese trying to blackmail us on rare earths, and we've got to stop that. So we're joining us now is Energy Secretary, Mr. Chris Wright. Chris, thank you for coming on. Appreciate your time. I know you're opening up ANWR, and I'll get to that. But everyone's asking me for an update on the rare earths because of China's blackmail. Front page story in the Wall Street Journal, totally about that. 3,000 words worth. Chris, can you just tell us what is happening on our effort to develop, produce, and manufacture rare earths?
It's a big deal, Larry. As you said, it's an all-of-government effort. We're making deal with businesses, small miners, big miners, processing companies, manufacturers. We're bringing in larger companies that can help bring manufacturing technology.
I don't know about you, but it's just anyone who sits down and watches this stuff like all day, every day. I mean, I don't know what's going on in their mind, but what kind of their message all the time is like everyone's cheating is nonstop. And it's interesting because I think the Donald Trump dementia world, his bad culture is basically infects a lot of people. And I just want you to think of it this way, guys. Imagine, you got kids and your kid loses a baseball game or a basketball game or, whatever. And you just always tell the kid, well, if you lost, the other team must have cheated. It's like, just imagine like if you taught your kids that and your kid literally ends up being Donald Trump. And this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about all the time is like, why is everyone always blackmailing us? And then on the other side of the coin, then they act like that we just always making deals like big companies, small companies, far companies, close companies. It's like everything. All right, there's that. And then you got Trump tweet out like this crazy stuff. This is just today. He's talking about what's worse, NBA players or the Democrats. And he's talking about rigged and stolen. And then he goes on to, I guess he wants to stop voting. No, seriously. He says, there's a big scandal in America. If not, it will happen again, including the upcoming midterms, okay? No mail-in, okay? Early voting, yes to ID. So I guess he doesn't want any mail-ins or early voting. And then he's just like, watch out for the totally dishonest California and millions of ballots, right? Get smart Republicans before it's too late. And it's just like, this guy is just crazy. I mean, I don't know how to put it. I just show you what it is. And this is what we have to deal with every day. We're talking about the Trump administration, what's going on with the USA. It literally is the tweeter toddler. And then he has his people going out on the news saying that everything's great. And this was the headline then. Bessent sounds confident, right? Sounds confident note after trade talks with China. And here's a question I'll pose to you is, does Bessent sound confident? Let's listen to the dude. He's going to talk about various trade deals. Let's watch.
Listen, I've been traveling since this unfortunate event happened. I know that the ad's been taken down. So, we'll have to see. But I just think it was terrible judgment by this premier, who has a bit of a reputation for being a hothead.
Does the president know if the tariffs will apply to 10% tariffs will apply to all Canadian goods? Has he made a determination about that?
Well, I'm sure he knows, and I'm sure the Ambassador Greer knows. But again, we're here out in Asia, and we're doing these big trade deals out.
And the question is like, so, do you know where the tariffs? Like talking about the 10% on Canada, like is it going to apply to everything? He's like, well, I'm sure Greer knows or Trump knows. Somebody must know. It's like that's why it's so crazy. I mean, this is all in public. We can all see it. How can you take any of these people seriously? And these are the people representing the USA. I mean, it's laughable, it's sad, it's embarrassing, it's all these things all at the same time. If you guys are feeling the same stuff, trust me, I'm right there with you. You are not alone. it is crazy. And I just wanted you to see it. Like, he takes these long pauses. He does it all the time. And then on the reverse, because I completely get it if you're Canada, I completely get it, right? Canada's Carney visits Asia to forge new alliances and reduce U.S. dependence. So basically, like, the focus right now this week is on Asia. So multiple countries are going out there trying to make whatever deals. And I think we can all see it. I mean, you can all see what's going on, right? You're kind of got new friendships and partnerships forming. This is interesting, though. Carney, talking about Canada here, he's saying free trade. Southeast Asia is a rapidly growing $5 trillion economy. Canada is working to finalize a new Canada ASEAN, so basically Southeast Asia, a free trade agreement, a partnership that would create huge opportunities for workers, businesses on both sides of the Pacific. Now, I just wanted to show you these two things to contrast, because you see the Trump language, and it's like the guy, I mean, you can see what he writes, like boldface, capital, all caps letters. The sentences don't really make a lot of sense. He rants all the time. And this is what, like, a real leader sounds like. Like, you can actually understand it. And you don't, go about insulting people nonstop. So I just want to show you the difference, how the Trump culture, like claiming everyone cheats all the time, what that does to the administration and leadership. Carney's also in Asia, and he's meeting with all sorts of people. You can see this. And then you're going to talk about, going back to the USA, what's going on with the Argentina bailout. I told you guys this before. This was actually from the Wall Street Journal. U.S. banks are hunting for collateral to back $20 billion Argentina bailout. The basic gist of it is that Argentina has a long history of not paying people back and defaulting on loans. That's basically what it boils down to. And so no one really trusts it. No one wants to lose. This is like real money, billions of dollars. And then the number's been going up and up and up. The last number I heard was 40 billion, maybe 20 from, I think they're talking Treasury or something, and then 20 from private businesses. But this is where it's all, kind of murky. Marjorie Taylor Greene's even to come out against this stuff. She's a Republican, saying, Argentina bailout, a punch in the gut to the American cattle. And then this is where the 40 billion, which is interesting. They actually asked Republicans, right? Trump people, what do you think? Trump voters disapprove of the 40 billion Argentina bailout. So I guess 30% approve, and everyone else is like, forget that. Listen to see what Besson has to say about this.
Let me turn to another big issue. The Trump administration recently extended a $20 billion lifeline to Argentina that has gotten some bipartisan criticism, Mr. Secretary, including from Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. I'll read you a little bit of what she wrote. She says, quote, Americans are getting decimated with high cost of living and skyrocketing insurance costs. Many of them have zero savings, and some are maxing out credit cards to survive. Tell me how it's America first to bail out a foreign country with 20 or even 40 billion taxpayer dollars. How is this move America first, Mr. Secretary?
Well, Kristen, it is America first because we are supporting a U.S. ally. There will be no taxpayer losses. This is a swap line. This is not a bailout. And it is from the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which Treasury, I control at Treasury. It is never registered a loss. It is not going to register a loss this time. We are supporting a...
All right, so Besson, I guess, is promising that we're not going to lose money on this. He literally said, well, it's coming from stuff that I control. We're not going to lose. and I wanted you to see this because it's the same with the Canada answer. You get these weird coughs, long pauses. I mean, for me, I don't feel confident when I watch these people at all. I'm actually kind of concerned, like, what's going on with these billions of dollars? So I understand even Trump voters are against this stuff. That's why I showed you the polling data. The whole thing's crazy. And then they're coming out trying to say and then claim that we got to deal with China, or framework, I think is the language that they're using. And then the setup right now is Besson and Greer and all the trade reps. We're meeting with the Chinese trade reps, and then Trump and President Xi then will be meeting together here in Korea, actually here in Busan, where I live, and theoretically do a handshake or whatever. My hunch, though, is that there may be like a pause, in any sort of trade war, maybe for the next 45, 90 days or whatever, and then Trump will tweet out something and it'll go back to where it was. The other problem with the whole stuff is like, think of it this way. Trump's like, okay, I hate you, 100% tariffs on you, right? And then he may change his mind and then like, see, look, I got a really good deal. I took back the 100% that I threatened. And he can keep doing that over and over again, right? Threaten you, take back the threat, and then claim like he made some sort of great deal by going back to where it was. It's bizarre. Listen to what they have to say about this stuff.
Kristen, I can tell you they are, because we just finished 2 days of negotiations, and we've created a framework for the two leaders to discuss on Thursday in Korea.
So that's optimism. President Trump had threatened to impose an additional 100% tariffs on China on November 1st if Beijing goes forward with a plan to put restrictions on rare earth minerals, as you know. If China refuses to pull back those restrictions, Mr. Secretary, can you confirm that President Trump will, in fact, impose those 100% tariffs against China?
Well, Kristen, I think that's old news. President Trump gave me a great deal of negotiating leverage with the threat of the 100% tariffs on November 1st, and I believe we've reached a very substantial framework that will avoid that and allow us to discuss many other things with the Chinese.
That's why you got to see it sometimes, you know. The coughing and the weird pauses. It always a dead giveaway with this guy. I just, my opinion, and I'd like to hear yours, but I just don't trust anything that he says. I think it's obvious. And then while all this crazy crap is going on, the USA apparently is falling apart, where this just came out a few minutes ago. We're having slowdowns at our airports now. Listen to the Transportation Secretary talk about this.
I was in one of the towers, and they were celebrating the fact that the airlines had sent them lunch and are sending them dinner. Again, you're celebrating the fact that they're taking some financial pressure off the controller by way of the airlines and saying, we're gonna try to stand with you and help you out through this difficult time. I don't want air traffic controllers going to a food bank. We don't have the best technology, as I've talked about with you, Maria, in our airspace, but we do have the best controllers. These are well-qualified professionals that keep our airspace safe, our planes moving on time. And the fact that they have to think about how they put food on the table and need airlines to put food into the towers so they can have a lunch and a dinner is outrageous. So again, I see that burn coming from the controllers. And again, I think it's going to play out as we look forward.
Can you believe this is what we're talking about? We're talking about whether or not our air traffic controllers can have, food for lunch and dinner. These are actual conversations that they're having in the USA right now. It's insane. And this is our headlines. And this just came out a few minutes ago, as I was telling you. U.S. airports report over 20 air traffic controller shortage triggers in one day. And this has a ripple effect. I think they even pause flights or something in LAX, LA, the airport. I'll read it. It says, U.S. airports have reported more than 20 incidents of air traffic controller shortages on Saturday, said Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary, in the latest sign of the government shutdown's impact. A ground stop is what they call it. A ground stop was issued by the agency at Los Angeles International Airport due to air traffic controller staffing shortages. That was around 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, right? So be a busy time. The restriction covered most of Southern California region, and delays are likely when flights resume. By noon Eastern time on Sunday, the agency had recorded shortfalls in air traffic controllers at 6 U.S. airports. The Trump administration warned flight disruptions are expected to increase as the shutdown drags on. So it's going to get worse, actually, which is absolutely crazy. And this is where we're at. I don't even know what to say and how to respond to this stuff. I'm just showing you what's going on. It's completely dysfunctional. But I wanted to begin, though, with the stuff in sort of the Trumpy culture, because I think it affects everything, to where in Trump's point of view, if something goes wrong, someone else must have cheated. There's no shame or accountability. There's no self-reflection. It's just always pointing the finger and say, oh, well, you cheated. It's and this is why, and should be obvious, why these people are terrible leaders, right? And that's why I just want to put in the most basic terms for anyone. If you're teaching your kids or teaching, people that you work with, right? Let's say you're a mentor to younger people at your company or organization, And if you taught people that you're, trying to be a good role model for, if you teach them, hey, everyone else just cheats you all the time, they're just all cheaters. Like, you're never going to forge good relationships or friendships that way. And this whole thing, it becomes really obvious when you watch it all, how and why the USA is spiraling in a downward way that it is, right? You can see it. And this is why I always tell you the same thing all the time. It just goes back to leadership and why you want good leaders and people who are willing to listen and people who understand what is going on and willing to work with partners and make new partners. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you all in the next video.